and welcome to Telly West, the show that's local with a capital L. And in the next hour, we'll be bringing everything close to home right into your living room. But first, this.
Now, I may look like a giant, and hey, let's face it, I am. But this isn't Lilliput. It's Steve Birch's back garden, and that was a miniature train. Well, this is Steve Birch, the owner of that machine. Hello, Steve.
Hello.
Now, if it's not a rude question, why do you have a miniature railway in your back garden?
Because I'm a steam enthusiast and I like miniature steam engines. I bought this engine about 3 years ago with a view to building a railway around the garden, and we're about 3/4 of the way round with the track now. A couple of carriages out there you see, which are professionally built to replicate the LMS carriages that were used in the 50s. And the plan is to complete the track right round the garden.
Which will be about how long?
About 500 feet altogether. And then to fully signal it in Western region practice with semaphore signals and a miniature signal box to control it all.
Okay, so, and how does your wife feel about this?
Oh, she's very keen on it. You know, it's certainly improved the looks of the garden in this particular area around the triangle, and it keeps me occupied and out of the way, sort of thing.
And similarly, have you had a spate of keeping up with the Joneses? Are your neighbours suddenly sprouting miniature railways in their gardens?
There are one or two other enthusiasts about the village who have similar railways. It's getting quite a popular hobby amongst model engineers. This is a 5-inch gauge railway. The next size up is 7 1/4. And that is perhaps more popular for hauling passengers than this. There are also several club sites where we can take our engines and run them round with the other members.
Yeah, because you can actually seat 6 people on the carriage.
Yes. I mean, some of the larger locomotives will carry 20 people on the carriages.
So is there any plans to open your garden up to the general public?
Not specifically, but we will have open days for certainly neighbours and perhaps fundraising events where we can have the railway running around, get a few friends in to bring their engines as well, and we'll have a grand little rally.
Mr. Bowler's sparkling orangeade, please.
Oh, yes, we've got one handy. Try that for size.
Well, yes. This is Jerry Stone, and he's here at the Mr. Bowler's factory. Now, can you tell us something? Who is Mr. Bowler, or who was Mr. Bowler?
Well, Mr. Bowler, he was a Bath family businessman, and he had an engineering works consisting of brass foundry, heavy machinery shop. He also had a hardware shop ironmongers, call it what you will, and he also manufactured mineral waters.
That's a very strange combination.
It certainly sounds a strange combination, but it all does gel in together quite nicely, actually. And it was in existence from 1872 right up until 1969. And the whole of that 97-year period, there were 3 generations of the one family who looked after the business. What happened in 1969, the local authorities made a compulsory purchase order. And they purchased the entire area where boilers were situated, and that area is now being turned into a car park down at the bottom end of the town. Progress.
Yeah, but so what you're saying is that all that stuff was completely intact, closed up, and that's what's been reproduced here.
Yep. Everything you see here, I can assure you, did come from the one family business.
Well, Jerry, what can I say? Roll out the barrel, but explain to me, what is this?
Well, this is where they actually manufactured their carbon dioxide for the carbonated drinks that they produced. Tied up to the power source, as you can see, and inside that barrel is a little paddle wheel which would rotate. And into that barrel they either put crushed marble or chalk, which are then mixed with diluted sulfuric acid.
Sounds safe.
Doesn't it? And when the paddle wheel rotated, that agitated the mixture. A chemical reaction would take place, and one of the results was carbon dioxide was given off, collected via lead piping to that gas holder you see above. Works on exactly the same principle with big gasometers you can still see around certain areas today.
And then it's after the gas has been pumped into the water that you add the essences.
Well, what happens, yes, right, you mix the essences together and get your flavouring and your syrup, and then with a carbonating pump you mix the water with the carbon dioxide, and then the whole thing's brought together then in the bottle.
So, Mr. Bowler, he made mineral water.
Yes, he made mineral waters.
So, this must be the stopper for a really large mineral water bottle then.
Yeah, it'd rather leak out through some of the openings there, wouldn't it?
So
Now,
what is it?
Mr. Bowler, in fact, also had a brass foundry. And this is his pattern making workshop. And before you can do any casting on your brass foundry, of course, you have to make an exact replica of what you want to end up with.
So if you ask someone what they do for a living and they say, oh, bit of this, bit of that, remember, Jonathan Burdett Bowler, Bath's industrial entrepreneur of the late 19th century. Now, he did a lot of this and a lot of that. And you can come to Mr. Bowler's business and you can see everything he used, exactly the same as it was over 100 years ago.